Hello everyone, this is Cody Dean. Welcome to part 2 of the Goal Creation Journal, how to use the Goal Creation Journal. So let's jump in here and get the next page of the Goal Creation Journal. Okay, so this is the first page over here, and then we have the second page right here. And so let's erase what we have so far, and let's get into the training. Okay, so you just got done with the, oh wow, it just brought everything back. I'm just going to leave that in there. All right, so we just got done with everything for setting your goals. And then you have your second page here, and that's what we're going to focus on today. And I call this the identity page. So this page, the first page is called the grid, because as you could probably tell. And this one's all about your identity. And the cool thing about goals is they actually help you determine who you are and who you're going to become. And if you don't focus on who you are becoming, you can reach these goals and you may realize, hey, like, why do I even have these goals in the first place? Like, who am I actually like becoming in the process? And so this is going to help you with what's called process goals. Anyway, so let's get into it. So you have your 5 goals here. These are all the columns. And these will then transpose over here to your process goals. Now, with your goals, there's usually something that you'll need to do every single day or on a consistent basis to reach that goal. So I always like the example of fitness and health. You will probably want to exercise every single day or do some kind of physical fitness thing. So you can say your goal is to exercise for 30 minutes. And you can, if you don't want to do it every day, my recommendation is to put a circle around the days that you're going to do it. Right? So you're going to have, these are the 4 days that I'm going to exercise. And so then you can just check that off. Because how this compares to your first page are these sections here are going to be for things that are one-off things. Like if you're exercising and you're gonna, like, your goal is to run a marathon, you may need to buy a marathon course, or find you may need to buy some shoes. Like, that's not something that you're gonna need to do every single day. So that's the difference. Is there are the end goals, and then there's the means goals, and these are the process goals. So this will also help you with your growth as well. So say for me, like, hey, I want to make $10,000 a month residually. What is something that I need to keep track of? And like in businesses, this is going to be like your KPIs, like your key performance, or KPIs here, key performance indicators. So if you know there's something every single day that you want to focus on, you can say, hey, like, how many leads am I getting a day? And you want to shoot for like 30 leads a day, and yeah, you got it, or you didn't, or this is more of just an actual goal, and you can actually just check off, like, yeah, I got it. Or what you can do is you can actually put in your results here of, like, okay, I got 15, I got 20, I got 10. And you can even do with exercising as well, like, hey, I exercised for 10 minutes, I exercised for 15, etc., etc. So there's a lot of ways to actually do this, but this helps you stay in a rhythm. And in Atomic Habits, it talks about how important, if you are looking for your goals, how important it is to actually create a habit to create your goals. And again, this can change from week to week to week. It doesn't have to always stay the same. So if you are going, like for a relationship goal, you have a relationship, hey, I'm going to spend 30 minutes, no phone time. I'm going to drink water, 8 ounces, or 8 cups. Did I do it or not? Hey, I only did 7, or I did 6, I did 5, I did 8. And so these are the habitual goals that you're going to do. All right. So once you have that, what is interesting is as you set goals, you're going to find your limits. Now, your limits are actually set off of a couple of things. Think of it as your, just look at this circle here, okay? You have 3 circles. These are your goals that you have / results. Okay, these are the things that you want to accomplish. This is how you accomplish them. So these are your habits. Okay, and so these habits are going to reflect to your process goals. So we are targeting, like, first off is, hey, what do I want? How am I going to get that with my process goals? And then you have your identity right here. And that's why I call this the identity. Your identity actually comes from the stories that you tell yourself. So this is a little bit more advanced training, but I want to make sure that we go into it, is in your life, you have these things called experiences. Every day you're experiencing something. Right now you're experiencing something. But from the ages 0 to 7, and then from the ages from 7 to 14, these are 2 critical sections of your life. And these 2 sections are built up just a bunch of experiences. Okay? And as you get older, or after you experience something, you actually have this thing, you create a story about what has happened to you. So like I was talking with one client, and she was a little kid, and there was this table, and she was walking underneath this table when she was just this little girl, 4 or 5 years old, and she was just walking around, and she was bonking her head on this table underneath it, and her family was all around, and there were some friends over and stuff, and they were all laughing because they thought it was funny. And this actually affected her, and she started creating a story about herself of how she doesn't like being the center of attention because it makes people laugh, and it was like degrading to her. And so she's like, if I'm the center of attention, if I get attention, like if I am out of the norm, people will make fun of me, and they will laugh at me. Okay, and I know you can't read that, but bear with me here, okay? So this experience happened, and they may not actually have been laughing at her or making fun of her or actually wanting her to feel that way, but that's actually what happened, is she created this story of, hey, like if I do this, like if I do certain things, if I'm the center of attention, people will laugh at me. And what ends up happening is those stories become your beliefs. And these beliefs are what run your life for your entire life. Okay, so if we go back over here to these proclamations and to these stories, the way to change your identity is to change the story. You can't change the experience. The experience happened, but you need to change the story about the way that you perceive the experience. Another example of this is one of my sisters, actually, with us being in quarantine, she was like, hey, shopping online and doing pickup, it takes a long time. So that was her belief. Okay, so how did she have this belief? Well, she heard a story from a friend. Now, this friend actually had the experience of actually having a really long wait time for pickup. And they realized, oh man, like it was 3 days to pick up. And this was, may have been a time when it was actually really long. And so that was the story that was told by the friend to my sister. And now my sister has this belief. Anyway, so that's just another example. So going back over here to the actual story section, okay, you need to think back like, hey, like what is limiting me from reaching my goal? Some people, they have a goal for a really long time, and they're never able to actually accomplish it. And the reason why is they have this identity, they have this story about themselves or about certain situations that are preventing them from actually accomplishing the thing. And so one of the best ways to overcome the experience or overcome this identity is to have that identity shift with a new story. And so one of the best ways is to do this through I am statements. And so you can say, hey, I am strong. Like for me, like when I did door-to-door sales for a while, and I noticed that I was getting depressed when people weren't answering their doors and I wasn't making sales. And so I would say, hey, I am strong. I am happy. I'm strong, happy, healthy. I'm confident. I'm charismatic. I'm strong, happy, healthy, confident, charismatic, enthusiastic, positive, optimistic, decisive, and successful. I'm clean, pure, wholesome, and adapt quickly to change. And so that became my new identity because I started telling myself that again and again and again. And so as you start setting these goals, be aware of the thoughts and the feelings and the things that you have inside your mind. You set this goal of like, hey, I want to make $10,000 a month. 10K a month. Oops. 10K a month. And then you have this, oh, like, I can't do that. No one's done that before in my family or whatever it is, right? You just flip that on its head and say, hey, I can do that. For me, like I say, I am a strong, capable, worthy provider of my family. So you see how that's a new story that I'm telling myself. All right. So if you want more on that, reach out. I recommend these I am statements. I am this, I am this, I am this. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can actually create your perfect day. And this goes into the visualization section of you can actually start creating stories of what it's going to be like when you actually accomplish that goal. And you write out these stories. You're like, I wake up in the morning and I'm confident. And I look in the mirror and I see myself super fit and strong. Right? And you can start closing your eyes and you can recite this story to yourself. And you can actually, your brain doesn't really know the difference between the story that it's reading and actual reality, and you actually can get a lot of those feelings of actually accomplishing the goal before you've actually accomplished it. So this story section, super important. All right, let's move on to this next part of this is the morning and evening routine. These are very straightforward. These are the bookends of your day, and so the books can change, right? With every single your day may change a little bit here. You may have this book and you can put it here, and you can have this book and you can put it over here, and you can shift and shuffle all these things. With the book ends, at least for the week, these are going to help get you started and end your day right. So you're not always just running. And I noticed with my clients this works really well if they know like, hey, this is how I'm going to start my day. I start my day in control, and this is how I end my day. So for example, it's like, hey, when am I going to wake up? I'm going to wake up at 6:30. When am I going to go to bed? I'm going to go to bed at 10:30. What do I want to do? Hey, I want to pray, and I want to meditate. And some of my clients, they actually put like, okay, if I wake up at 6:30, I'm going to pray, and then I'm going to meditate from 6:45 to 7. And then from 7 to 8, I'm going to do this. And they have this little structure of their day. Same thing with the evening is, hey, I'm going to meditate, or I'm going to work out. I'm going to, have time with my spouse. I'm going to have time with my kids, read them a book, or whatever it is, right? So that's how to do the second part. Hopefully that gets your creative juices flowing. And again, this is totally customizable to meet what you need. So guys, go out, be great, and create your freedom, success, and abundance in your life.